Hi, everyone. Welcome to English with Caitlin, an English listening podcast. Today's episode's title 8+ Years University. Today, I want to talk about a fun topic, but it's also a little bit sad. It's about my university years, the time I spent studying at a university. I have both good memories and bad memories from that time. But today, I want to focus on one interesting part of my university life: why I went to university for over 8 years. Yes, you heard that right. I was in university for over 8 years. I started university right after high school, and I finished my degree when I was in my late 20s. A university degree is a certificate you get after finishing your studies. Have you heard the English expression, better late than never? This means it's better to do something late than to never do it at all. Even if something takes a long time, it's still good to finish it. So this expression is perfect for my story. First, let's talk about the different levels of degrees from a university. Associate's degree. This usually takes 2 years to finish. It includes the basic university classes, general education, that you need before moving on to the next level. General education, the basic classes like math, writing, and science that all students must take. Next, bachelor's degree. This usually takes 4 years to finish. This is the most common degree for university students. Many jobs need you to have a bachelor's degree. Next, master's degree. This takes 1 to 2 years more after you finish your bachelor's degree. It is more advanced and focused. Many jobs will pay you more if you have a master's degree. And next, doctoral degree, PhD. This takes several more years. This is the highest academic degree you can get, the highest level. If you want to be a doctor, you need a doctoral degree. It can take 8 or more years to get. So first, associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctoral degree. A normal university student will finish their bachelor's degree in 4 years. It takes 4 years to finish all of the classes and get the degree. When you finish all of the needed classes, you can graduate. 4 years. 4 years, finished. But me, I went to university for over 8 years. So, shouldn't I have a doctoral degree by now? Well, I wish, but no, I don't have a doctoral degree. Let me tell you why it took me 8+ years to finish my degree. Okay, let's start. I started university right after finishing high school. I was 18 years old at that time. At first, I took some online classes and also some classes at a small university in my hometown. A hometown is the city or town where you were born or grew up. Because it was a small university, there were no dorm rooms. Dorm rooms are bedrooms provided by the university for students to live in. So instead of living on campus, on the university, I lived at home with my parents. I was a full-time student. I took classes full-time. But I wasn't just a student, I had to work too. I worked part time at a fast food restaurant during that time. University is not cheap in the United States. In fact, it's very expensive. My family didn't have a lot of money, so I had to pay for university by myself. Many students use scholarships to help pay for university. A scholarship is money that is given to a student to help pay for school. Scholarships are often given to students who have good grades or who are good at sports. However, when I was in high school, I didn't think much about the future. I didn't plan for university. I didn't apply for many scholarships. Luckily, I did get one scholarship that helped pay for my first 2 years of university, associate's degree. But I didn't think about the cost after those 2 years. I didn't prepare well. At that time, everyone around me kept saying, "You have to go to university, you have to go to university." So, without really thinking or planning, I just started. I went to university. The first 2 years of university were not too difficult. The general education classes were easy. I really enjoyed my English writing class. My days were very busy. I would take classes in the morning and afternoon and then go to work at night. Every day was full of studying and working. Study, work, study, work, study, work. I finished my 2 year degree, the associate's degree, while living in my hometown. However, there was a problem. The university was a small one. I could not move on to the next degree, bachelor's degree, at this university. So I had to move to a bigger city to continue my education. The city was about 1 hour away from my hometown. It wasn't a huge city, but it was much bigger than where I grew up. When I moved, I stayed in a cheap apartment with a friend. The apartment was very old, but the rent was low. Rent is the money you pay each month to live in an apartment or house. Once I moved to the new city, I should have focused on my studies. I should have focused on being a full time student, but I didn't. Instead, I focused on working and making money. What happened? What happened? What's next? I was living away from my family, paying for everything: university, rent, food, transportation. It was a lot. In fact, it was overwhelming. Overwhelming means it was too much to handle, and I felt stressed. At that time, I became obsessed with money. I thought about money all the time. I wanted to save every dollar. When I started university, I quickly found a part time job. But after paying for university supplies, rent, and other living expenses, I realized it wasn't enough. I couldn't afford everything. I needed more money. So I got a second part time job. I was working full time hours and going to school full time as well. But the money was still not enough. So I got a third part time job. Yes, I had 3 part time jobs. Finally, 3 part time jobs. I could feel that the money was enough. I was working about 60 hours a week. At the time, I thought I was doing a great job. I thought I was balancing everything well: work, school, life. When the school semester ended, I was on break, but I didn't rest. I just kept working and working. So, what did I think was a good idea during this break? If you listen to my episode called Buying a House at 22 years old, you already know. I bought a house. Yes, that's right. I bought a house at 22. Why? Well, the money from my three jobs gave me a false sense of confidence. I was confident. I don't know exactly what I was thinking. I was so focused on saving money that I didn't want to waste it. I felt that paying rent was a waste of money because every month the money just disappeared. Every month. Goodbye, my money. I thought that if I bought a house, the money I would pay every month, it wouldn't be a waste. It would be going to my house, the house I owned. I thought it was the smarter option. Anyways, I bought a house. But I didn't think about the other bills, the other things you have to pay: water, electricity, trash, gas. I thought it would be easy to manage. I had the three jobs. Money would be okay, right? Then the new school semester started. I signed up for full time classes just like before. I was working constantly during the break, and now I was back in school, but then it all caught up to me. I wasn't sleeping. I was drinking a crazy amount of coffee every day. I was taking short naps in my car between jobs and classes just to survive the day. It wasn't enough. I couldn't focus in class. I wasn't doing well in my classes. I didn't have time to study or to do homework or projects. So I made a difficult decision. I quit one of my part time jobs. With two jobs, things got a little better, but I was still working around 50 hours a week and still going to school. Eventually, I hit a wall. I hit a wall. To hit a wall means to reach a point where you just can't keep going. You can't go anymore. You are so tired or so stressed. My grades dropped. I wasn't doing well in my classes at all. I had to drop some of my classes. To drop a class means to stop taking it before the semester ends. Usually it is because you are failing or you can't keep up. Looking back at that time, I really wish I could change some things. I wish I had focused more on studying, not just on money. After that semester ended, I had to make changes. I decided to take part time classes instead of full time. I also cut down on my working hours. I reduced my work schedule to 40 hours a week, which was still a lot, but more manageable. That way, I could still make some money and also focus on my schoolwork. I had to retake the classes I dropped earlier, part time classes and retaking classes. really pushed my graduation day back further and further. The degree that should have taken 4 years to finish took me 8 years. Slowly, I finished my degree. It took a long time and it wasn't easy. I had to pay for my house, university tuition, and daily living expenses all at the same time. That was very difficult. But in the end, taking fewer classes and working fewer hours was the best choice for me. It helped me manage everything without becoming too stressed. Looking back now, if I could go back, I probably wouldn't have bought that house. But I also learned a lot from the experience. That is all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you for the next episode. Bye bye.